Okay, here's attempt number 2 at this video, because attempt number 1 had Windows scaling issues with my recording device. So we're here to talk about Windows scaling, and in general what that means to you as a Spry user is going to be that things aren't behaving in the text editors. So you're trying to visualize things as certain elements of Spry where things are either squished up or in the wrong place. This is an issue that affects lots of different software and is a side effect generally of high resolution laptop screens, so like 4K, 5K laptop screens, and it's Windows and the software and everything else behind the background trying to make everything readable, so not making it so small, but it has these impacts that make sometimes parts of the software not particularly usable. Now we are continuing to try and work out how we can do this better, but unfortunately it's one of those things where there's a lot of different things at play, and it takes quite a while to get it right. So in the meantime, what I'm going to show you is some workarounds and some other things you can do to work with a high resolution laptop screen, and primarily it's about changing your Windows scaling settings. So what we're talking about there is if you hit the Windows button on your keyboard, which is the sort of 4 square icon, start typing the word display, and then go to your display settings, you're going to land on a screen that looks something like this. Now I've got 3 monitors, so mine's got 3. If you've got 1 monitor, it'll only be 1, etc. But what you're looking to do primarily is making sure that, and I've already changed it on my screen because the recording device that I had to doing this video didn't work with Windows scaling. But generally what you're going to find is that you're set at the recommended level. So my recommended level for this laptop was 4K, and the recommended scaling when set to 4K is 350% scaling. Essentially, the bigger that number is, the worse all of the behavior of the settings are. The more things are going to move around and be in the wrong place. The strong recommendation from me, is if you have one of these 4K laptop screens, is that you, rather than running Windows scaling, is that you set the scaling to 100% and set the display resolution to be less dense. So 1920 by 1080 is what I run my laptop at. I don't get anything out of having my screen at a 4K resolution. It slows everything down. It doesn't otherwise add any value. So I run it, rather than running at scale, to go 100% scaling and regular full high definition. And if you set that, then that will do the job. The other workaround, if you want to keep your laptop scaled for some reason, the other option that you've got is the reason why Spry behaves this way is because the main display is not set to 100%. So you can change your main display to be a different monitor, and as long as that main display is set to 100%, you can keep your Windows scaling on your other monitor, but you get some other strange behavior from Windows as well. So it's one of those things that's still, for Windows, it's still a bit of a work in progress. For us, it's still bit of a work in progress. But the summary would be, if you've got a higher resolution laptop, halve its resolution or bring it down, set the scaling to 100%, and the final thing you'll need to do is restart your Spry. So it won't change anything until you restart your Spry. But once you have, you'll go from having this behavior. Shouldn't need to restart your computer, but it may prompt you to restart your computer. You go from having that behavior to having this behavior, which is the expected one. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. It's something that we're hoping to get resolved without the user needing to make those changes, but for the time being, that's the way to get around it. So I hope that was helpful, and have a good one.